Hi guys, welcome to my channel, The Narcissist Guide. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope that you're doing well, and for those of you who are going through healing, I hope that you're staying strong and that you're coping well. In today's episode, we will be talking about the empath, the narcissist, and the path to freedom, and also the 7 things that happen when an empath loves a narcissist. Some people seem to always invite narcissists into their lives. They don't mean to, it just happens. The dynamic fits like a glove. They might be recreating the family dynamics they grew up with while being raised by a narcissistic parent. That could well be true. The other reason, however, might be less nurture and more nature. They could be an empath, the sensitive creator. Empaths, as they are referred to, are quick to experience emotion, experience their emotions with high intensity, and then quickly burn out, often feeling fatigued and a pressing need for solitude in order to recharge. Can sense and are very attuned to the emotions of others, even going as far as to take on these emotions, which can quickly drain their energy if they are not careful. They are good listeners and can sacrifice their attention for long periods of time. They have an extreme craving to connect with others emotionally, which often is stronger than reason and common sense. They have more difficulty than others in keeping up with daily life, and so are more prone to seeking out a higher power for guidance and support. They can more easily be influenced than others. The emotional world of an empath is vibrant. They are artists and dreamers. They inspire others with their energy and lust for life. Also, they crave love and connection more than other people. As a result of this deep need for emotional connection, their boundaries are usually weak. That is, their need for connection outweighs their need to protect themselves. They thrive on connection and suffer when isolated. Their emotional buttons are easier to push than non-empaths. The good, the bad, and the beautiful. Not every environment can support the needs of empaths. Modern society rewards academic ability, rational thought, and corporate skill. What the empath needs is attuned limbic resonance and platform to express their true self. They have a constant need to experience the beauty which life has to offer and to resonate deeply with other human beings. Emotionally, they function at a much higher frequency than others. This often leads to misunderstandings and, as a consequence, rejection. Empaths, due to their rich emotional world, are already hypersensitive to interruptions in connection. In many families, especially conservative, traditional, or abusive ones, the needs of the empath to be creative and to be deeply understood can be neglected. Worse, the empath can be shamed for their softness. These unmet needs, topped by constant shaming, can leave the empath with low self-esteem and an overwhelming craving for love and not be aware why. The wolf and the sheep. It takes consistent, attuned resonance from another person to satisfy the empath's hunger and maintain the empath's emotional equilibrium. They can't just shut it off. The narcissist will smell this like a shark smells blood and swoop in. Their inner beauty and weak boundaries make them a goldmine of narcissistic supply. Narcissists know how to push emotional buttons, and they know that empaths cannot help but respond. Also, the charm of the narcissist can be intoxicating and irresistible to the empath. Most people are lukewarm, whereas narcissists are very attentive at the beginning. To make the empath fall for them, the narcissist will mirror and affirm the empath's emotional side. The empath will think they have hit the jackpot, finally finding someone who can handle their intensity. It's like a gravitational force which acts against their will and clouds their judgment. An empath and a narcissist together create a perfect storm. Also, due to their heightened emotional system, the empath feels less secure in general. They need firm structures more than the next person. Although the situation is rarely threatening, even the smallest irritation can make the empath feel instability and fear. These threat emotions can feel like loud warning bells and are very difficult to ignore. It is for this reason that empaths gravitate to rigid structures with little thought as to the consequences. Nobody ever really has all the answers, so your average person will not be able to offer the empath the security they desire. In comes the narcissist with their strong sense of false self and self-assuredness. The narcissist can provide the empath structure, and as a result, the empath will usually establish a relationship with the narcissist. The empath will slowly realize how oppressive and manipulative this structure is, but still tolerate the abuse, all in the name of security. That is how difficult it can be to endure the inner world of an empath. Fall, empath, fall. And so we begin to understand why empaths make the wrong choices and fall for the same ploys over and over again. This is not the end of the story, however. There is another way. The key is not for the empath to run from the narcissist, but instead to allow themselves to fall. The empath must first take the leap of faith by breaking down the oppressive structures which they have been drawn into. This takes bravery, since doing so will induce great fear and panic. When the empath finally agrees to fall, they begin their spiritual journey. Outside of the oppressive structures, the empath has a choice. They can see their gift not as a curse, but as a powerful force. As they embrace this force, the empath can begin to pursue a life of art. Their overwhelming craving is not just for love, but for expression and the pursuit of beauty. They need to give a large part of themselves to the abstract realm and minimize analytical tasks as much as humanly possible. They will need to overcome the often found social stigma around being an artist and embrace their true nature. To consume and to create art will go a long way in quenching this thirst that seems never to end. The empath won't need to look far to see what kind of art they can do. They have often felt it since a young age. They simply need permission to pursue their art, which can only come from within. The next step will be to find consistent, loving people who will offer the empath the resonance they need, people who can feel as deeply as the empath and who can empathize with whatever the empath feels. Oppressive structures simply will not work for the empath. They need space where they can roam, express and feel accepted. They also need to be in an environment that is not too intrusive or manipulative. They need people to respect their boundaries, allow them to function at a high emotional frequency, and finally, people who allow them time for solitude to recharge when they have burned too brightly. Firm, spacious structures. By giving up the oppressive structures, the empath will be faced with the challenge of establishing their own structures. Having a traditional career might be out of the question, and leaving some people behind who cannot tolerate the empath's high frequency might be also necessary. The empath has a complicated set of requirements, so often they will need to be creative and unconventional as to how they achieve this. They will need to learn to embrace the emotional turmoil inside and become skilled at managing their complex lives with quenching their deep emotional thirst. They will need to find people who can support their self-chosen structure and not people who will subject the empath to their own strict, oppressive structures. In the face of manipulation and greed, the empath must be vigilant. Effectively, an empath has two choices: leave their door open and allow narcissistic thieves to plunder their riches, or they can take control of the wheel, leaving the shame of heavy expectations behind and embracing their true nature to shine brightly is what they were born to do. As an empath, it is especially crucial to arm yourself. Now let's go to the 17 things that happen when an empath loves a narcissist. There has never been a more toxic union than the relationship between an empath and a narcissist. Empaths often are misunderstood as being weak or victims of their kindness. That's not the case at all. Empaths are strong, resilient individuals who are highly sensitive to the feelings and emotions of others. However, when narcissists enter the picture, victims are exactly what empaths become if they don't know how to protect themselves and create boundaries. Empaths want to heal the world and can't stand to see someone in pain. Because of this, they are naturally drawn to the irreparably damaged narcissist and their tales of woe. But a narcissist doesn't want to heal. A narcissist wants to manipulate, belittle, and most of all, continue to be a narcissist. Even though, yes, most empaths are already aware that being in a relationship with a narcissist is an unhealthy decision. They may not know exactly what they are in for until now. Here are 17 things that happen when an empath loves a narcissist. Number 1. The narcissist creates a sense of comfort for the empath. An empath will feel a strong connection to the narcissist, even if he or she does nothing to reassure the empath that their feelings are correct. Number 2. Empaths love to love. They enjoy making others feel whole again. But there's a problem. The more love and care an empath gives, the more powerful and in control a narcissist becomes. Number 3. The narcissist will make the empath feel like the relationship is going well. But what is really happening is the narcissist is seeking constant validation. They ask, "You love me, right?" and swiftly turn any and every conversation into one about themselves. Number 4. After a while, the narcissist will begin to use gaslighting tactics to make the empath feel enormous self-doubt. "I never said that," "You are crazy," and "You are imagining things" are common phrases that start the rapid decline of an empath's mental stability. Number 5. This creates a relationship of control for the narcissist. They leave the empath feeling reliant on them for everything. They begin to feel like no one else would want them. Number 6. All of these manipulation tactics and control mechanisms cause many empaths to experience severe depression and anxiety. This only furthers the empath's belief that they need the narcissist in order to feel okay. They alienate themselves and the narcissist becomes their entire world. Number 7. Everything a narcissist says and does is a direct attack on your personal reality. They can take you from the joy and normality that you once had in your life to a shadowy place where feelings of inadequacy and worthlessness are daily occurrences because everything you do is wrong. Number 8. At some stage in the relationship, the empath will reach their breaking point. The person they once were becomes someone else, and their friends and family no longer recognize them. Number 9. Conflict in the relationship arises between the empath and the narcissist because the empath starts to take on the traits of their partner. Eventually, they begin to realize that their emotional needs are not being met and display actions that say, my needs matter too. The narcissist sees this as a selfish behavior. Number 10. What neither member of the relationship realize is that even after it ends, which it will, both parties continue to suffer. The narcissist will continue on to other equally toxic relationships and pursue various avenues in their life, but they will still be miserable. Number 11. And the empath will continue experiencing the abuse from a narcissist because it works like a poison in their mind and body. It enters every cell with one purpose: to destroy the reality of their target. Number 12. After the relationship falls apart, the empath looks to themselves as the problem. Surely it is their fault. They must have failed in some way. All of the narcissist's toxic words come back to haunt the empath, and they think, maybe I was selfish for thinking about my own needs. Number 13. However, the empath doesn't realize something very important. There is nothing wrong with them, and they didn't fail anything or anyone. In fact, there's something very right with them. They simply were manipulated, used, and lied to by someone who had no remorse about hurting another individual. Number 14. This begins the empath's powerful transformation. It is a painful process, but so is being with a narcissist. They begin to understand that in order to grow, they must re-evaluate their healing process. Everyone is worthy of love, but not everyone is deserving of trust. Number 15. The empath will heal. It takes realization that they too were broken and damaged, like the narcissist, but they are willing to recognize that, whereas the narcissist simply refuses to believe they could possibly be flawed or in need of anything or anyone. Number 16. The narcissist will carry on looking for their next victim, completely unaware that their unhappiness is caused by themselves. Number 17. The empath will grow from this experience and recognize that parts of themselves they must protect and balance if they are to live a wiser, more enriched life. Now, what happens a lot during the last phase of a relationship between an empath and a narcissist, or a super empath and a narcissist, is that the empath will confront the narcissist. They will confront the narcissist and it will actually destroy the narcissist. But there's one thing that you have to understand. The empath or the super empath is not seeking to destroy the narcissist, but it's kind of more as a ultimatum, a last chance. Change or I will leave. And of course, most of the times, the narcissist will choose to not change. They will stay the same. When the super empath or the empath will leave the narcissistic relationship. And when that happens, the narcissist first of all will not expect that the empath or the super empath will leave the narcissist. They will try to manipulate, use their manipulation tactics to keep the empath in their relationship, in this toxic relationship. But the super empath or the empath had enough. And the super empath will transform. The super empath or the empath, they will both transform after a narcissistic relationship. And I have to say that it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can also be that the super empath or an empath has a covert narcissist in their circle of friends. And for that super empath, if they have enough or if they had enough, they will also confront the narcissist and hold them accountable for their irresponsible behavior. And they will bombard the narcissist with facts and the truth. And when that happens, the narcissist is quiet, silent. Silence because they don't know how to respond. They are in shock because they have never expected this confrontation to happen. These confrontations might have happened in the past in a more subtle way, without the empath realizing or determined to say, okay, this is it, I had enough, I will leave. No, that is in the stages where the empath or the super empath will still give the narcissist chances, okay, trying to pull the narcissist back up or fix their problems. But when the super empath had enough, the super empath will leave the narcissist and will never allow that narcissist to return into the life of the super empath. Now, I made a podcast a few months ago. If you want to take a look at that, I think that's a very interesting episode, when the super empath becomes the narcissist. I have received a lot of comments on that, and some people were saying, well, we are not seeking as super empaths to destroy the narcissist. Absolutely true. The super empath is not seeking to destroy the narcissist, but that is the eventual outcome of the confrontation. When the super empath confronts the narcissist, it's actually, like I said, they're giving a choice: change or I will leave. And when the super empath leaves, the narcissist is destroyed because they are losing their most ultimate narcissistic supply a narcissist will ever receive in their lives. The super empath gives the best narcissistic supply a narcissist will ever get. So the narcissist will never overcome this injury the super empath has unconsciously caused the narcissist. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk to you about today, guys. I hope that it was an interesting subject. If it was, please subscribe to my channel, The Narcissist Guide, on YouTube. You can also leave your comments in the comment box or send me a message through my website, thenarcissistguide.com. If you would like me to cover a certain subject for next episode, please let me know. Thank you so very much for all the people who have subscribed to my channel. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Now, thank you very much and see you next time.